All right, welcome back in. Just another football show.
Hoo-yah.
Talking AFC Championship
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
We've done it every year, so.
We're always talking
always
AFC
talking
Championship
I'm sorry.
game. It's what we do, KC.
Sorry.
We get a fun matchup.
Just because
right?
you've been there 4 times in a row doesn't
Sure.
mean that we didn't talk about it when it wasn't the Chiefs.
I forget. I
Has it
forget
been the
all
whole
these
time?
things.
It is not. We talked
No,
about
I think
the.
we're 5 in.
Yeah. But yeah, Bengals, Chiefs. This is the Sunday 2 o'clock game. So it's your, I don't know. You guys can't
2
sleep
o'clock
in,
our
but I
time.
can sleep in.
It's
2
your
o'clock our
Bellini
time.
game.
But yeah,
It's your Bellini game. It's your mimosa game, right?
Maybe, yeah.
You carry that over a little
brunch
brunch? A little brunch game.
But I'll tell you both, neither of these teams are going to be brunched up. They're going to be
No.
drunk in the parking lot. No tables broken this week, probably, unless it's an accident, which happens. But Bengals-Chiefs rematch from a month ago. 2 high-flying, hot teams that are probably going to be in the situation a few more times over the next decade. So kind of the first salvo in what could be a long war.
And it's fun to look at this sort of matchup. Like you said, 2 teams in this hunt. We talked about the Bills and Kansas City. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. You brought up fucking Joe Burrow's name and all of that. And then you look at the flip side of the coin on the other conference. There ain't a whole lot of fucking top-name, big-name quarterbacks out there with longevity driving it up. So it's going to be interesting and exciting to see this one play out and then know that we're going to get this rivalry. This could be the start of a budding rivalry between these 2 teams.
I'll be interested to see if Mahomes is rushing down the field to give old Joe Burrow a hug. But
afterwards, maybe let us scarf.
Sounds like some shit he would do.
yeah, that's cool. That's
really,
nice
if you
thing.
told me it happened, I wouldn't be surprised.
There's a real possibility here we get a Super Bowl matchup that is a person mascot versus person mascot. You can get an animal mascot versus animal mascot, or we can go man-animal.
Look at him go. Look at him go.
Those are all the possibilities.
All right, so if you've been following along with these, we're keeping our same fans, obviously. So we're going to talk to Frechie. We're going to talk to Bengalorian. Took moving heaven and earth, but we're talking to Bengalorian. I'm talking to Bengalorian. I'm gonna kick you guys out before
Are we
do
sure
it.
he's just not hungover again?
Worth an ask.
I will ask. I will ask. But first up, we're gonna call Frechie and see exactly how he feels if he's not still hungover from the game Sunday night and how ready he is.
He only
for
celebrates
this
champagne for championship victories.
That's fair. We did see that. That's a video available.
Yep.
All right, let's call him and see what he feels like. All right, so now I'm gonna bring on Frechie. It's my good luck charm.
That was
other than the Super Bowl last year.
Try not to act so excited.
I'm
Casey.
sorry.
Jesus.
I tried to come up with what's the first question, right? Like this whatever. I guess the first thing I have to ask, Frechie, you okay, man? You okay over there? Like you got through, obviously. You're happy, but man, did you how'd the night treat you?
Thought we were gonna have to call an ambulance for a heart attack victim.
Yeah.
At one point, that victim being me.
Not just me. Cool.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. That was an interesting weekend of games.
For sure.
It was a fun weekend, interesting weekend. This game came down to Mahomes in overtime, and go figure that happens. 13 seconds, like Casey said in the Wednesday episode of the show, 16-1 odds to win that fucking game. Yeah, fucking bet the farm on that.
Wish I'd have seen it.
Because
my degenerate ass didn't think, what are the betting odds right now?
Yeah.
I was just trying to
well,
live.
that's because it's your team. Any other team, you would have thought
What's the winning odds? Yeah.
But just an outstanding, phenomenal football game. Frechie, sort of a little bit of a feel good for Kansas City Chiefs fans, right? Like, it had to be all right for Chiefs fans to see overtime play out in your favor this time. And then, like Casey has pointed out so many times, sit back and go, well, we tried to change this rule, but nobody wanted to listen to us.
I was literally just about to bring that up because I think it's hilarious.
I'm all over this.
Yep, everyone's just like, oh, you're just complaining. You got to deal with the rules. Cool, here we are 3 years later.
Yep, I sat in that stadium and watched the NFL MVP not get to touch the ball in overtime division round.
Doesn't feel good.
Or the
It
AFC
doesn't feel
Championship
good.
game. So, yeah, it was terrible.
Might feel good for you guys, just a little bit of
Does now.
schadenfreude, but really it didn't feel
Well,
good.
ultimately,
for
our team gets to play next weekend, so that's where it feels good.
Well, and I tweeted out, I was like, this isn't the ending that anyone wanted, right? I think that no one wanted it to end kind of that way, but overall, very good game, back and forth the entire time, pretty much. I did my fair share of yelling at a game for a person who had zero investment in it, other than the stupid picks I make on this little show. But
I was wearing my Bills shirt. I love Matt and
I
the Bills
didn't have my
Mafia.
Bills
I
shirt on,
had a
yeah.
great time. And at one point, Katie's going, "Why are you so invested in this? It's just fucking exciting. I'm caught in the
exciting, fun
moment."
game. And as we talked about on the show, a game that we're going to see, we're going to see games like this for the rest of our, next 5 years,
between these two teams,
between these two teams, and it can only be as good as this, right? So, very fun game, and now you get to go on next week and play a team that you already lost to this year in the Cincinnati Bengals. That one was in Cincy, right? And it was a last second, and it was a heroic performance, whatever. So how you feeling? Big emotional game, lots of investment in this Buffalo game, overtime. Everyone played their fucking heart out. How do you feel getting to play against a Cincinnati team there?
I'm really happy to see Cincinnati make it. Everyone has said that San Fran is kind of the Cinderella team because they're the 6th seed. Since they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and most of that team is still intact. They just had a rough start to the season again because of injuries. Cincinnati is probably the biggest Cinderella division winner we've seen in the last 10 years at least, considering this was their first playoff wins since before I was born.
That's a lot.
You should be older then, because it's not.
No. Frenchie pointed out in a video I posted on Facebook exactly how much younger he is than me, and he constantly throws that in my face, and it really upsets me.
It makes you feel better. I'm the oldest of all my friends, so this is one of the few times I get to bring it.
How would that make me feel better?
I don't know. It just trickles down. Yeah, Frenchie, this is the Bengals are a great story. It's been a great rise. We talked about how some of us on the show didn't think that they'd be very good. Some of us should have took the over. Some of us thought Zach Taylor would be fired at this point. But they're on this rise, and that Kansas City matchup a few weeks ago was one of those, okay, if we're going to take this Bills team seriously, let's see Bengals team, sorry. Let's see how they perform. And they came out and, took some late-minute heroics, and they wound up getting it done. Is there any thought, worry, because the Bills were a team that also beat you previously this season. Is there any worry of, okay, we've seen these guys before, they've beat us, but how do we bounce back and come out and play good in this game?
I don't think there's going to be that, because you could have seen that exact same type of thing this past week with the Bills. And it's kind of crazy to think that of the 4 final teams that were left in the AFC, Kansas City had lost to all 3 of them in the regular season. And then I looked at that and I'm like, yeah, but they're still a better team than all 3 of the teams left.
Yeah, I was toting a revenge narrative if the Bucs had managed to get to the Super Bowl because they'd lost, but it just that's out the window a little bit.
One of my favorite things about people picking Kansas City versus the Bills this past week is on the CBS pregame show, Nate Burleson is the only one that picks the Chiefs. And his final score was 42-37, 1 point off of the actual final score.
He had it better than me.
1 point closer than Jim.
Me and Nate Burleson are simpatico. I had Chiefs 41, Bills 35. I was off on both of those by 1 fucking point. But yeah, it's you get this. I mean, there's a lot of feels. Red hot Buffalo coming in off of that impressive, dominant performance. Yeah, Kansas City beat the fuck out of the Steelers, but who gives a shit about that?
Who doesn't?
So exactly, who doesn't?
The Browns.
There's one interesting little wrinkle, a side wrinkle here. Like Ryan sort of brought up, this is a Kansas City Chiefs team that went punch for punch with Buffalo. This is a hard physical football game. I guess there was a lot of scoring, but inside the trenches, there was a lot that led to that scoring. Had to go to overtime. Buffalo's coming in on, or not Buffalo. I did it again.
Keep doing this.
Cincinnati's coming in on an extra day of rest.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't play as physical of a ball game. Yeah, Joe Burrow got his shit fucking rocked, but he was able to get back up. An extra day of rest. Is there any thought? I mean, I hate saying it. I'm just trying to ask the questions that you would ask, but it's tough when it's Kansas City, and we know how well they're coached and how good these players are. But is there any worry that Kansas City spent a lot, like the tanks coming in on coming into this ball game?
No, this team was at home, got the opportunity to go home, sleep in their own beds, be with their families. It wasn't, obviously it was a huge win, but also it was a divisional round game, so there wasn't nearly the amount of celebrating and partying as there would be. If we were coming, if that was the AFC Championship game and there was only 1 week to the Super Bowl, I'd be a lot more concerned. But these guys, they've been here, done it before. They went home, got their fun out at the stadium, got home, and knowing Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and this entire group, they the moment they left Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday night, their attention was on Cincinnati. Yeah. They had their fun while they were at the stadium, and as soon as they left, your mind switches to the next opponent in front of you, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. I think one of the big things for this matchup is going to be the fact that it's going to be in Arrowhead instead of in Cincinnati in a game that, did come down to the wire. And Cincinnati has had a lot of luck to get to where they are. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away. They had 2 grinded out hard victories against Oakland and against Tennessee. Against Las Vegas. I'm still not used to that.
Same old Raiders. It's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't get, if that, that whistle, they end up having to redo that play on the inadvertent whistle, or, they don't get that ball batted in the air. Tennessee probably comes down and wins that game.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, it was close enough through all that. The Tennessee was still in there. You talk about some luck that the Bengals have had. They've got some great players and some great athletes as well. And one really shined the last time you guys played, and that's Jamar Chase. How does this Chiefs team, especially if Honey Badger can't go? That's he's in protocols right now, so most likely we'll get to play. But there's a big if and an asterisk right there. And you saw what happened to this defense when he went out against Buffalo. How do you shore up and stop Jamar Chase from scoring?
I think you're going to see the same type of defensive game plan that you saw against Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs obviously had that 2-point conversion, but really wasn't a huge factor. I think if someone's going to beat them in the passing game this time around, it's going to be someone like T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd, where, that defensive attention is going to be shifting towards the favorite for NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year versus, you saw Gabriel Davis, the rookie, have a huge game. But I swear to God, if one of their backup or number 2 or number 3 receiver has a 4-touchdown game, Steve Spagnuolo is going to be guillotined before he gets out of that stadium.
Are you telling me that the plan wasn't to stop Jamar Chase last time, though? Because, I mean, sure you've seen him. Maybe you didn't believe it before.
Clearly it fucking wasn't. They never double-teamed him. Like, they just – what was it, 3rd and 20-something? And they no.
Yeah.
It must happen.
If it was the plan, that's problematic.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking at here. And you mentioned T. Higgins as well. I think T. Higgins is probably like the 2 and the 3 for the Bengals are probably better than the 2 and the 3 behind Stephon Diggs there. So very interested to see how this secondary holds up.
Well, I look at it this way. Jamar Chase had arguably the greatest rookie receiver game of all time in the regular season, and they still only won by a field goal. Gabriel Davis last week had the greatest postseason, touchdown-wise, the greatest postseason game for a wide receiver ever, and his team still lost in overtime. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take more than that. It's going to have to be Joe Mixon. I think it's got to be a big factor in this game for Cincinnati. The Chiefs' run defense has been better the second half of the season, but this guy's a Pro Bowler for a reason. He's got to have a much better game than he had against Tennessee, where he averaged like 2 or 3 yards a carry. I think this guy's got to come out for over 100 yards if they want to have a good chance at winning.
Yeah, last time was only 46 yards on 12 and didn't even get much from Samaje Perine, and Joe Burrow was the second leading rusher back in that game, and he only 10 yards. So, but looking at this last game, I don't want to put too much stock in it. It was, it'll be 28 days ago, so 4 weeks ago from that game. So there's still some there, but looking at what the Chiefs had, they had Darrell Williams and Derek Gore going as the top 2 running backs, and now you have CEH back, and I thought he looked very good on Sunday night, and Jet McKinnon as well, who gets some play on running the ball and catching the ball too.
He looked so fast too. This whole team looked fast.
Yeah. So it's not exactly the same matchup there, but how do you feel about the running back situation? Because I thought that was kind of the difference on Sunday night, right? The good production from CEH, not to mention Patrick Mahomes running for 60, 70 yards or whatever it was. So how do you feel about having CEH back now and him kind of being the main guy?
As much as I love Darrell Williams and Derek Gore, Derek Gore was a fantastic pickup for them in spot duty over, the second half of the year. I'm very happy to have Clyde back, and Jerick McKinnon has been such a good pickup. Mahomes was a huge supporter of him during preseason and training camp. So I'm so glad they kept him on the roster and that he's actually finally healthy. Sorry, Jeremy. But overall, he has just been a great, he's another smaller guy, but CH is more of a finesse back, while McKinnon, even with his small stature, he's going to hit you in the mouth. He's going to come out and hit you hard.
Yeah, McKinnon looked phenomenal in there, and yes, you say that, but it's funny how you get off the San Francisco team and all of a sudden you can stay healthy. Weird how that works.
Cursed.
So that
Cursed.
Bay Area.
But when Nick Bosa coming to Kansas City?
Yeah, I look at this Chiefs team, and one thing that really stuck out to me, and I said it, and you said it, is just absolute fucking speed. You saw Tyreek get the ball in his hands. Should have been flagged. Should have been penalized. Probably shouldn't have been a touchdown. It's the Tyreek rule that they made for him. But cool. Throws the deuces. Does all that speed. Jet McKinnon, so much speed. I believe it was Pringle that had a little end around that just fucking went from 0 to 60
Hardman.
so fast. Was it Hardman? Okay, sorry. 0 to 60 so fast. Cincinnati, the interesting thing here is the rematch. They've seen this. We know it's a game plan for. We can get there. I don't know if they've got the defense that can come out here and slow this down, which makes me worried because I don't think they've got the offense to do what Buffalo did and go full out score for score that last 2 minutes of a game.
I don't know. I think Bengals have Burrow and Jamar and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. And,
so we'll say that for the Bengals fan. I just want to get Frenchie's thoughts on your team's abilities to keep up if it turns into a shootout.
If I'm concerned if the Chiefs are going to be able to hold up if it's a shootout.
Again, stupid questions, but these are the questions right now. It'd be bad if we just talked to you for 10 minutes and said, okay, how are all the ways the Chiefs are going to win this football game?
Well, here's the thing I think that's going to really help Kansas City is that the fact that two of the main cornerbacks for Cincinnati are Trey Waynes and Eli Apple. You could literally staple them to a wall and they still couldn't cover it.
Oh,
yeah, but you got Mike Hilton and Cheeto Awuzie, and I think Hilton had that great interception on Saturday. So hopefully those are the guys that they're thinking about.
The real head scratcher, I think, going back to the last matchup is the Chiefs scored 3 points in the second half. Like it was really like domination in the first half, right? Like yes, Chase got his and then some, but I mean it was just over, and then the Chiefs didn't show up in the second half. I mean, I will tell you there were some really shitty penalties and things in that game.
Could happen.
I'm not going to go back to them, but it was a thing that happened. But the head scratcher is the 3 points in the second half, and really that's what cost them, other than maybe, no head coach will say it, but letting them score there on the goal line and giving Patrick Mahomes the ball back. We saw all he needs is 13 seconds to get down there and kick field goal. Those are my takeaways from the last game. Other than that, everything I think else sort of gets thrown out the window.
And I mean, one of the things too to look at is taking the foot off the gas pedal has been kind of a problem for Andy Reid, even back to his Philly days.
Started.
Yeah, but right now, this team knows what it takes. They know that they can't take their foot off the gas pedal. They might be able to start slow. That's what we've seen from them in the playoffs. I mean, hell, Mahomes, first 5 playoff wins? He was down by double digits in every single game and came back and won.
True.
But
some good comebacks in there, too.
Yeah, I mean, down 24-0 in the first quarter is usually kind of frustrating, and then 28-24 at halftime. Yeah, and that was the last shining moment for Houston in their entire franchise.
You're not wrong. I mean, that was really the last one.
We're talking about comebacks. Pinpoint the Super Bowl when you're down 10 points, and I'm going, Kansas City's got them right where they want them, and sure as shit.
Yeah. But I think one of the things that Kansas City, the biggest improvement that we saw from last year this year, obviously, is that offensive line. Mm-hmm. You've got the guy that should have been an All-Pro in Creed Humphrey blocking up the middle. You've got guys on the left side that are perennial Pro Bowl options in Joe Tooney and Orlando Brown. You've got a great pickup in Trey Smith at right guard. It's been a little bit of a revolving door at right tackle due to injuries. Andrew Wiley has held his own over there in the second half of the year. But that is the biggest component, I think, that allows Kansas City to have a big edge over Cincinnati. Because Cincinnati, you look at their defense, you've got guys like DJ Reader and Trey Hendrickson, which Hendrickson was a huge pickup for them. I know a lot of people were really scratching their heads at that pickup in the offseason, considering he had 11.5 sacks for New Orleans last year opposite Cameron Jordan, and they were a lot of questions of whether or not he was going to be able to, make that same type of number this year. And he's been a huge pickup for them. DJ Reader, that signing a couple years ago, was huge for Cincinnati. I was really happy that they were able to pick him up from Houston. But they're going to be playing on the positions that the Chiefs' 2 best offensive linemen are going to be blocking them. And I think that if you can neutralize that, you're going to be able to pick apart that defense. And I'm looking at Chris Jones. Chris Jones, he was getting double teamed, and Melvin Ingram was able to make a mess of the backfield in Buffalo for a lot of that game. But I'm looking at that front four for Kansas City, that they've got to have a big game. And obviously Joe Burrow was able to withstand 9 sacks last week and still put the team on his back and help them win that game. But I'm really thinking that we're going to see a little bit more turnover cause, because, he took 9 sacks and was able to fight through it. But is he going to be able to do that a second week in a row? Yeah. He's got to be pretty sore this week, and we'll see how that much impacts him on his mobility or anything like that come Sunday afternoon.
Well, I don't know that he's going to be able to do that and also win with 17 points. You got to – or 19. Yeah, you're right.
And last time these two teams played, no sacks from Mahomes, right? I think it was 4 sacks for Burrow. Mahomes not sacked at all. I did see this week it was like kind of the secondary news, but obviously Josh Gordon got cut, but that was to bring Colin Saunders up. So does that mean that Jerron Reed is out? I think that he went out on Sunday, right?
I think Jerron Reed is just more of a, bringing Colin Saunders back is a depth play, potentially. I haven't heard anything about Reed being out.
Okay. I drank a lot of beer in that game, so I feel like I remember it happening, though, and I drank a lot of beer after it. But
so I thought he came back. I thought he even came back in.
He might have. Yeah, I'm not showing him anything on injury report as of right now, but who knows? But I saw that. I like Colin Saunders, so that stuck out to me. He's an anime guy, right? He's an anime nerd, so that stuck out to me.
Yeah. I liked it originally when they drafted Colin Saunders. He actually came from Western Illinois down during the time when I was actually covering in Keokuk. So I actually got to, I didn't necessarily cover them, but I, being in the area, knew a little bit about the team and stuff. And he would have made a lot of really good plays in college. So I was really happy when they picked him up.
Yeah, I saw some. I like him too. So hopefully he gets some play in here. But Frechie, you know how this goes. We've done this a dozen times, at least a dozen times, probably more than that actually.
Let's keep them coming.
And you've been largely a good luck charm for Casey. So how does this game go, right? A rematch of 4 weeks ago, January 2nd. We were all still hungover from New Year's. But how does this game go? A little bit of game flow, and what is the final score here?
So it is kind of fun because I did realize this is the 4th straight AFC Championship that I've been on your guys' show because the Chiefs have hosted 4 straight.
Yes,
your final score is going to be 35-24. I think Kansas City is going to stick kind of close with Cincinnati. I think Cincy will make a charge in the beginning of the game as that defense tries to figure out how to contain Chase. But as we've seen from them this postseason, they make some big plays when they need to. That's kind of been a staple of that Steve Spagnuolo defense since he took over a couple of years ago. That, they're not going to be a world breaker of a defense, but they're going to be a bend, don't break when the time comes in a lot of big moments. Obviously, that wasn't the case against Buffalo, but Cincinnati is not nearly as complete of a team as Buffalo. And Joe Burrow, as good as he is not Josh Allen at this point in his career. So I'm thinking that Kansas City in the second half, we'll see kind of the flip of the script from last time where they put a little bit more points up in the second half, and I think you're going to see them pull away in the fourth quarter, make it a 2-score game, and since he'll get a little desperate, turn the ball over in a big moment, and Kansas City will be able to close out the victory and head to their 3rd straight Super Bowl, where they will eventually win their 2nd in 3 years.
Is that turnover there at the end? Is that Dirty Dan getting it? That's how that works, right?
It probably will. Also, when we're done with this, do you guys just want me to record like one of each segment of they're gonna face in the Super Bowl?
We're pushed for time, so no. But as much as I would love to do that,
just put a couple in the can.
Just get them going.
The only person out there right now with bigger balls than Frechie calling his shot is the kicker for the Bengals. So.
That's true. We'll see. All right, Frechie, man, we appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, and damn, I really hope we'll give you a week off, and then hope to be talking to you right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Also, go look up fan art of Patrick Mahomes as the Grim Reaper because
so good.
I'm getting a tattoo of either that quote or of Patrick Mahomes as the Grim Reaper. I haven't decided.
I like the Mahomes with the Grim Reaper shadow is pretty good too. So there's some really good stuff out there. All right, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, have a good day, guys.
See you, Frenchie.
All right, so guys, we got to bring him back. Obviously, I don't know that anyone anticipated us talking to you this many times in the postseason. I hope that you would tell me that you anticipated it, but got to bring back the Bengalorian. Talking a little Bengals, man. Have you? I mean, we're here a couple days removed. Have you recovered? Are you good? How's it going, man?
After this, man, I'm gonna have to quit drinking. I think it's a lot of celebration going on, and I don't know. I guess I could have told you I was going to be back here this week and probably next week, but you're probably right. A lot of people didn't think this was a possibility this year.
No, this is the a lot of people want to tout the 49ers as sort of the Cinderella story, but coming from the wild card spot, I suppose. But man, I think this is the team that's the Cinderella story, if you will, is this Bengals team that I don't think anyone really expected to win a division, let alone be here in an AFC Championship game. So this is really cool to get the opportunity to sort of pick your brain and see how you feel this game sets up.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we're the team of destiny right now, and I don't know if anybody can truly refute it at this point.
I say as a Chiefs fan, I'm not a fan of that, but you're not wrong, man. I'm not feeling good about it. So we just saw these two teams play just a handful of weeks ago. Bengals came out victorious 34-31. Tale of two halves, I suppose, but I mean this team showed us exactly what they are and what they can do. Joe Burrow, 446, 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase just torched up this secondary. What's it going to take for us to be calling you here in a couple weeks to talk Super Bowl? What's it going to take to get past this maybe juggernaut Kansas City Chiefs team?
Yeah, it's going to take a very, very well played game. It's easier to kind of play down that Titan team a little bit with Tannehill at the helm and a broken-winged Derrick Henry. But the Kansas City Chiefs are an excellent football team, and I've got no hate or vigor towards them. I was actually stationed out there for a little while and went to many Chiefs games wearing a Travis Kelce jersey. So, Travis, let me clear that up. A Travis Kelce Cincinnati Bearcats jersey, not a Chiefs jersey.
I was going to say, I mean, are there photos of that? We can get it out.
No, yeah. But it's going to take 30 points on the board for us to compete. Our defense is going to have to play an incredible game under Lou Anarumo like they did against the Titans. Because we're not playing Ryan Tannehill. We're playing Patrick Mahomes, who I have a lot of respect and admiration for. The Chiefs defense, it doesn't have that sexy 4-man rush that the Titans have, but you 100% have the ability to reach out and touch a quarterback. So we've got to play smart on our O-line and repeat what we did about a month ago is essentially what's going to have to happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember previewing this game specifically with the guys and saying, the keys to victory, all the trophy things that you do. The keys to victory were to get in the backfield and disrupt Joe Burrow. But man, I sacked 9 times last week. This guy just does not quit. Like there is no quit in him. We've talked continuously about this team and how bright the future definitely is, and I don't want to overlook where they sit now. I think a lot of people are currently doing that. They're going, oh well, this Bengals team is, they are set up for the long haul, and we've talked about how the AFC in general is set up for the long haul. But I don't want to overlook this moment. I mean, how do you feel? Like I said, 9 sacks, man, and he just gets up and keeps ticking. I don't know. I say that's a key to victory, but it didn't work so well for the Titans. So, how does he do it? I guess is the question. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm not quite sure he's human. I have not.
Fair
the jury's
enough.
still
Okay.
out on that.
All right.
Yeah, it's guys like him and Mahomes that play the quarterback position the way they do these days, and you just marvel at it. Mahomes with his feet and his amazing trick throws. Joe Burrow's ability to get hit by a F-150 and get back up and win a football game.
Exactly.
It's remarkable. It's unbelievable. And I mean, quite literally under pressure and being sacked and touched, he's statistically better at football. So as a defense, if your goal is to sack the quarterback as a defender, I mean, that's how do you sack somebody who's going to torch you when you do it?
So I don't want to like spend too much time. Obviously, Joe Burrow is just the future and is great. But you guys have a lot of other very good pieces here. A lot of I'm just looking at the stats from last time. I won some money betting these receivers to put up some yards because I don't trust the Chiefs secondary. I mean, no one expected the 266 yards from Jamar Chase last time these two teams played. But I mean, T. Higgins obviously very good. Tyler Boyd, Uzama's coming on really strong too here. Just talk a little bit about this wide receiving core and how it's probably going to give this Chiefs defense fits, especially, we don't know as we record this, the status of Tyrann Mathieu, but if he's out, this could be a day for Joe Burrow and this wide receiver core.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. And quite honestly, I pray that he is healthy and comes back because I want to play you guys.
I would bet that he will be cleared by the time the game rolls around on Sunday. But as of now, he's got to go through all the protocol and stuff. So we probably won't know until late in the week.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a Trey Hendrickson situation that we had the other week. But going into the receivers, I mean, good God, if Jamar Chase doesn't have a game, T. Higgins is going to have a game. If T. Higgins doesn't have a game, it's going to be split up between Tyler Boyd, C.J. Uzama, and Joe Mixon. We just have weapons that pass that'll catch these balls, and it's unbelievable. And who knows if Chase can replicate 266 yards, because that's just a game of the ages, and that's incredible. But if not him, those yards are going to be spread out. And I mean, I fully expect the Chiefs to mobilize to try to stop that. But sometimes, man, it is just hard to stop what is great. So we'll see. I mean, whether we can get these long dart plays over the top, or eat you guys up underneath. I don't know how the cookie's going to crumble, but I imagine at some point it will. So
that's what they say. One of the questions that came up as we were talking this game on the podcast was sort of this running game, and obviously, we just talked about the wide receivers and how good they are and how they can roll with that. We haven't seen a lot the last week or so from Joe Mixon. We know he can do it. Do you think this team is willing and able to sort of commit to the run if they maybe jump out to a lead and want to control the game flow? 12 for 46 last time. I mean, they were playing from behind, like I said, tale of two quarters or two halves. So I don't think it's indicative to point at it, but. Do you think that they are willing to sort of commit to that and maybe burn some clock and keep Mahomes off the field?
I think so, because like you just said, I mean, you don't want Mahomes on the field, because if Mahomes is on the field, he's making plays. When you look at these past few games, the Raiders are a hard-nosed football team, and they're tough, right? Sure. And then you look at the Titans, that front, right, on defense. I mean, running against that is going to be tough for anybody. So we're kind of playing teams that are built. I don't want to say the Raiders are built to stop the run, but that are built to stop the run. So this week, I mean, you've got some meat up front. So if we start dinking and dunking or getting these long passes and it comes down to it, I really do think they can try to commit to the run. If not the run, maybe screens out in the flats to get Joe Mixon working his legs, just to kind of eat the clock. Not the play downfield that could get picked, right? The screens are kind of safer versions of a pass, unless you're Mike Hilton last week and you swat a ball out of the air and catch it yourself. But that's another story. But also at the same time, man, when Zach Taylor, as of late, has had his foot on the gas pedal, he's kept it on the gas pedal. If you look back at that Ravens game, we weren't stopping. We wanted to put 40 points up on the Ravens, and we did it. So it's six or half dozen one way, six. I mean, it depends on the situation. But I not fear. I don't want to use the term fear, but like I would worry about Mahomes being on the field a lot more than I would Huntley of the Ravens. So.
That's absolutely fair. I also think there's just a let's stick it to the Ravens thing there as well.
Yeah. True.
Always want to run the score up on them if you can, I imagine. All right, man. Let's run down this. Let's get a feel for how you feel about this game coming up. Give me a little game flow. How you think this one goes, and maybe a final score there.
I honestly just see a repeat of the last game. I mean, you guys are good. You're always good. We're on a roll. We're good now. This is not a fluke. This is the Bengals' identity going forward, and we're only going to build on it. So I pretty much, I mean, add a touchdown, I guess, to each team in the score column, probably. You know, 40-something to 30-something, high 30-something is what I see, and I think. I know. Well, look at the playoffs, man. Besides your game that came down to these two brilliant quarterbacks, everything else was decided by three. You know, these legs. I just see a shootout. I really do, man. I think there's a world where we each have fours in the front column, where we're just crushing it, and the defenses are exhausted, and these quarterbacks are playing great. So I see another nail biter. I think you and I are both going to be on the edge of our seats, probably messaging back and forth on Twitter, man.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I don't disagree with you, man. And like I said, I know the other guys here on the show here are definitely pulling for the Bengals. I mean, most of America is. Let's be honest. That's fine. And honestly, man, if the Bengals win this weekend, I will be pulling for them in the Super Bowl, because this is it's such a good story, you know, and such likable players and a likable team and a likable coach. It's I don't know. You guys are set up for success going forward, and we look forward to continuing to talk to you and get your thoughts on this team, man. It's going to be a fun one this weekend, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I have the same sentiment. Chiefs, are my stepbrother team. I keep track of them just because I was going to those games, like I said.
Always fun.
If we don't win it, I mean, my God, we have still had a historic season for the ages. Yeah. And I think we're going to be right back here. Yeah, we're gonna be right back here next year. So if we don't win it, best of luck to the Chiefs. They need to represent for the AFC and take that Super Bowl.
All right, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate you finding the time. I know schedules got a little wonky and we had to move things around, but appreciate you taking some time. And you know, maybe we'll be talking to you here before the Super Bowl.
I hope. Who day?
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, that does it. That's one down. Coming back at you on the next one. Not sure when that is. It'll be it depends on what you've listened to, but. Other game also coming your way, talking a little Rams, Niners with some fans there. Make sure you guys are clicking on that link, checking it out. Until then, I guess these two guys are gone, so it's just me. This has been just another football show.